Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here by Asian Weather Forecast. This is another major update on this major tornado outbreak here that's now in the southeast. We saw a ton of tornadoes yesterday, around 30 yesterday, confirmed, and it's very likely we can possibly see something like that also today. So again, I made new maps and we have major new updates not only on the SPC outlook, we have it on the National Weather Service, and we have major updates for who has the highest risk for severe weather. So it's actually completely different, compared to yesterday. It's completely different. So this is actually major updates, and it might you might really want to watch the whole video because it's going to shock you how different it is compared to yesterday. So the area of the highest chance for seeing large tornadoes, very large tornado, hail and damaging winds has completely changed compared to yesterday. And yeah, so again, please be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Let's try to get back to 2,160 subscribers. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. And again, I really want to try to get to 2,200 subscribers. So let's try to get there as fast as we can. Maybe by the end of May, we can try to get there. Also, again, please be sure to share the channel to any friends or family that you think will either need this video to see exactly if they're in a high risk for, or a decent chance for seeing very large tornadoes and very large hail. And if you think they also just like my weather forecast, be sure to share the channel. But without further ado, let's get into this major update video. So again, just like yesterday's maps, I had to tell you guys, this is not the SPC outlook, or this is not what I think the SPC outlook. This is just a map that I made on my own to show who in general, by using colors, who in general has the best chance for seeing large tornadoes, extremely large hail, and basically damaging winds. I did this for yesterday's video, and I'm doing it also for today because I feel like it also helps you guys get just information itself instead of looking at radars and SPC outlook trying to see if you're in a high risk or not high risk, because there's no high risk for today, or just in general seeing a good chance for large tornadoes and all that. So as you can tell, the pink area, the pink shades are, we're going to be seeing again, it's not the SPC outlook high risk, it's just the in general high risk for seeing large tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. Again, it has completely changed, and you're probably thinking, why is it in South Carolina? Well, you're actually going to see why. You're going to be definitely seeing exactly why, because it's completely changed the SPC outlook and also the radar and all of that factors that helps me make my maps has changed again. So again, we're going to be seeing the scattered green area all the way to the Tennessee area, Carolinas. We're going to be seeing that scattered risk for severe weather. So it could be seeing some bands that could be quite severe, but not necessarily looking like they will cause tornadoes. Again, so if you're in the green or yellow, doesn't mean you're not going to get severe weather. You're definitely going to get severe weather. That's why you're in a color, but these bands aren't as likely to produce tornadoes, large hail. Yes, damaging winds, that's going to be a widespread threat throughout this whole area, but not necessarily a large hail. Again, there's likely we could be seeing hail, maybe a pea size or quarter size, but not as large as we're going to be seeing the pink or the red or maybe even the orange. Again, I'm going to be seeing that area of focus, though. That area of focus is in the pink and the red. So if you're even if you're in the red, you still have to be on the lookout, because you're definitely going to see a very, very good chance for seeing extremely large tornadoes and hail, and also again straight line winds and possibly hook echoes. That's going to be for areas near Mobile, possibly near the Albany area and Columbus, Georgia. You guys are on that in between that orange and that red, but you're actually more in the red, but you're not too far from that pink. And again, this pink area is going to be in between Columbus and Albany, Georgia, and Savannah, Georgia. You guys are actually in this pink, and you're about to see why. You were in the orange yesterday, almost in the red, and we have completely new changes for the overnight risk here. You guys are definitely likely to see tornadoes, not maybe not right in Savannah, but maybe just outside of Savannah, and that's going to be also for the far southern South Carolina area. So again, this is where we're going to be seeing our highest risk for today. Now let's actually look at the models and all that. So we're going to be looking at the National Weather Service. This is going to be the first thing we're going to be looking at, so you guys can just see what alerts we have or anything like that. So again, we actually had a tornado warning near the Mobile area, but that was expired. We do have tornado watches, though, throughout the areas near the western Panhandle, southeastern Alabama, and areas out there into the southern Mississippi area. Again, just south of Hattiesburg, we have tornado watches. That's going to be for the Gulfport area. We also have flash flood warnings out here north of Mobile and for Bruton, Alabama. There, we're going to be seeing incredibly heavy rain, possibly seeing 3 to 4 inches here. So definitely need to watch out there. And of course, we have Pensacola, Florida, as well in this tornado watch. We also have flash flood watches for Montgomery and Defuniak Springs. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. You guys are having tornado watch and severe thunderstorm warning. And as we get closer now into the Panama City area, you guys are under tornado watch. I believe this is the first time you guys have been under tornado watch, if not the second time. And then Mariana, you guys are also under a tornado watch. These tornado watches will very soon now be in effect now for southwestern Georgia very, very soon. So that's also, again, we're not just seeing this wave. We're going to be seeing multiple waves that will be continuing these, and not only in these exact same areas, but also becoming a bit more widespread also later in the afternoon now. So this is not the one band. We're going to be seeing bands also developing once again really, really late tonight. That's when we have a second huge wave for areas in Macon, Georgia, Albany, Savannah, Georgia. That's why we have good night pink area. But again, that's what we have right now. We're going to be looking at the SPC allocators that we saw yesterday. We've had 28 confirmed tornadoes, and it's still climbing because earlier today it was just 27, now it's 28. So I bet you we've had more than 30 reports, but just have yet to actually fully load. So again, look at all of this right here. Definitely, I'm actually sad. I'm actually kind of happy that my map was spot on. We're not exactly spot on, but close to spot on. But I'm not happy that we saw huge tornadoes in the exact same areas and all that. We actually saw one fatal tornado in the Matto tornado in Marshall County, Oklahoma. I was actually tracking that when I was looking at David Schlotthauer's stream. We've actually saw 2 deaths yesterday in Oklahoma, or actually one in Louisiana there. So again, definitely really sad that we had to see all these tornadoes. And again, all these areas were actually in my pink or my red. So again, we saw up to 28 tornadoes, and we've seen we only saw around 200 reports. I thought we would have had a lot more hail reports because it was just all over the place. But again, we saw hail out there into the Arkansas areas and much of Oklahoma, all the way into the near the Austin area, and we saw a whole ton of wind reports. And surprisingly, we had a tornado just near the Jackson, Mississippi area, which is actually not what we were actually seeing. Then we saw very strong tornadoes not far from the College Station area. We actually had a defined tornado. I was actually watching it on radar scope when it actually became a TVS tornado vortex signature. So that's what we saw today or yesterday. And this is today. As you can tell, it is completely different. The areas that were under an enhanced risk in North Carolina, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. I don't think it was necessary at all to put an enhanced risk for North Carolina. And now those areas that were in an enhanced risk, you guys completely dropped down to a general risk, which not only drops 3 levels, but technically has dropped 4 levels, which is absolutely crazy. And I'm actually glad they did that because it was not necessary. And let's actually again reload this actually really quick. But again, we have this enhanced risk now for Savannah, Georgia. You guys are right on the border. I think they should be extending this enhanced risk out here into the South Carolina, more into South Carolina. That is what I think should happen. But let's actually see if we can actually reload it one more time. Okay, yeah, so this is what it's now. So again, as you can tell, we have major, extremely big updates. As you can tell, this enhanced risk is now minimized from 18 million people yesterday to now only 5 million people. Not only that, we took basically away from South Carolina and North Carolina, but I think they should definitely extend this enhanced risk later today in the next update. More into South Carolina, also extending closer to Augusta, Georgia. Not for Augusta, but extending there. Again, we have Albany, Georgia, and that enhanced risk as well. And the slight risk is completely now different, now all the way up to the Kentucky area. And again, moving actually a bit more to the moving a bit more into Central Florida. As you can tell, this enhanced risk has moved north. So areas near the Gainesville, Florida area, you guys are still in it, but it has now moved away. It was a bit more into Florida, but now it's moved a bit more north, closer to the Georgia border. But again, I went from an enhanced risk yesterday to now a marginal. So this is actually absolutely crazy. So this is why we need people to actually see this. Because for those people who are in enhanced risk, you guys are probably preparing right now, which is actually good still. But now you're in a marginal, so it's not exactly necessary, but it's still possibly that you want to watch the news still. And those areas that were enhanced again for a North Carolina, now you guys are in a just general, which is a huge update. So you guys, this is why it's a huge update. You guys need to watch the whole video really. Again, we have the enhanced risk as our biggest threat today. It's looking a bit more unlikely now to have a moderate risk, but the day's still not over, and we have yet the worst of the bands to even really arrive. They have developed, but not really arrived in these main areas of focus. But again, here we have the enhanced risk as well, all the way from the teeny little tip of Mississippi up to the teeny little tip of South Carolina. Again, we have around 5 million people, including Jacksonville, Mobile, Tallahassee, Savannah, Georgia, and Albany. So very big cities. We even have Valdosta, Georgia, and also the barrier islands of Georgia, and then we have the slight risk now for around 24 million people. Again, that's the most widespread threat we have today. That's going to be for New Orleans, Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Birmingham, and Orlando. So as you can tell, Atlanta, Georgia is still in that risk. As you can tell, they are in a level 2. Tornado risk, again, completely different. I was actually in a 10% chance yesterday, and now I'm actually in a 0% chance. I'm not too far from that 2% chance, but I'm actually in no color whatsoever, which is actually a huge development, actually, because the 10% chance is actually a 40% chance. Now I'm actually not even a 2%. So again, actually, we have major updates though with the 5% chance risk as well. It is becoming very widespread now. Around 19 million people have it. And actually, Atlanta's only in the 2% chance, even though they're in a slight risk. So as you can tell, it is a bit different here, this layout today. So definitely a huge update though. Again, that 5% chance, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Birmingham, Montgomery, Columbus, Georgia, you guys are all in this 5% risk. And then the 10% risk, this is where I have a highest risk for tornadoes today. As you can tell, we have now areas like around 3 million people, including Mobile, Tallahassee, Savannah, Georgia, Albany, and Dalton, Alabama, and also Savannah, Georgia is right on that tip, as you guys can tell. Savannah, Georgia is actually in that 10% chance. Wind threat as well, a 30% chance for winds. Again, that's going to be our highest risk. That's going to be for around 5 million people, including Mobile, Alabama, Tallahassee, Savannah, Georgia, Albany, and Dalton, Alabama. And then the hail threat is going to be mainly a bit now for Alabama, areas into Georgia, stretching all the way to Kentucky. So a bit less of a hail threat for Florida. That's why you guys aren't necessarily in my pink, or that's why we don't really have those areas near Tallahassee in the red or pink, because hail threat is very low for your area. And again, also the wind threats, mainly the threat why we have that enhanced risk, mainly into the north central part of Florida. So that's why I don't necessarily have the pink, but that's why I have the reds in northwestern the northwestern panhandle there. But now we'll be looking at the HRR model here on the GFS. So this is going to be showing you exactly why I have the pink areas where I do, and why I have the layers where I do. Again, look at this. In the next couple of hours, we're going to be seeing these very powerful bands again. We're going to actually see, again, also some very powerful bands as well in the eastern Louisiana area, not just south of New Orleans. We're going to be seeing actually some very powerful bands there. That's actually a big threat for large hail there. That's why actually we have a hail threat as well there. And very powerful bands out here into the central Georgia, again, very powerful supercells likely again as well for southern Alabama, where you guys actually have, where I have that red and pink there. That's why you see what we do. And again, these strong bands will be continuing out here into the Mississippi area. So that's why I do have some, again, oranges into the areas of southwestern Mississippi near the Gulfport area, because we're going to continue to see some very powerful bands continuing over today. And also very powerful straight linear lines moving into now the Florida Panhandle area, going to be moving now towards the Tallahassee area, moving into Pensacola. This is very likely to produce very strong bands. And this is why I have this high risk for the Savannah, Georgia area, and also for the tip of South Carolina. This is not going to be the only band. You're probably thinking, well, it's just that one little band. Well, look, later today, we're going to have another one coming in, and this is going to continue bringing straight line severe weather bands now for the Valdosta area, Albany, Georgia, very big risk. And then again, continue to see even more bands by later Friday. So again, these are going to be some very powerful bands, and also going to be seeing a little bit of risk out here for the Gainesville, Florida area. Maybe Tallahassee, you guys might have a little risk as well for tomorrow. Now, as we look into today in the severe weather risk now, or the HRR model here for the European, again, it even shows the cities here. Again, as you can tell, we're going to be seeing some very strong bands, really heavier rain, scattered thunderstorms for Macon, Georgia, and then seeing the worst of the bands again south of Montgomery, where we actually have those red colors, of course, the pink. And then going to see these bands really starting to get a lot, really feisty now. These bands are going to start really strengthening out here into the western panhandle. Also for the Mobile area, very strong bands going to start developing there. Also going to be seeing these strong bands continue to move through the Georgia area now. Going to start really hitting areas like Albany, Georgia. You guys can get hit really hard. And also Savannah, Georgia. Also the areas between Augusta and Savannah. You guys are going to get hit really hard as well. Again, those powerful bands will be moving through Tallahassee, of course. Going to be those bands that move through Tallahassee will be won't be long lasting, but you guys will be seeing, again, powerful bands, but just won't be as long lasting as the other areas. You get very powerful bands moving through Savannah, Georgia, as well as Charleston, and then very powerful bands continuing out here to move towards the Savannah, Georgia area. Again, Savannah we'll see multiple ways And then as we get later into Friday, we'll see that scatter risk again for the Florida area. Now we're looking at the SCP risk for supercell composite parameters. See the really how the high the risk is for supercells here. As you can tell, we're going to be seeing up to a 17 already in these areas out here into the southern Alabama area, also southern Mississippi as well, other scattered areas into Louisiana as well. That's going to be seeing a lot of energy moving eastward. And we're going to be seeing again very high numbers up to a 19.7 here for the border with Alabama, Mississippi. Definitely a big chance for seeing this supercells to possibly again hit the areas like Montgomery if we have supercells developing there. And also going to be seeing a decent chance, actually a bit of a lower risk for the Florida area. Going to be seeing around a 7 or 8, which is again close to the decent risk. And they'll see these numbers get a lot higher, now getting up to closer to 18 out here, just east of Tallahassee. Again, that's going to be a big risk for the Big Bend area and that. So that's basically what we're seeing again for today. So again, we now have these tornado watches now have been extended now out here into Georgia, including Valdosta, Waycross, Tallahassee. You guys have been extended now. You guys just been added to a tornado watch. Also the Big Bend area as well. We have again Tallahassee, Apalachicola, again Valdosta, Albany. You guys will be added very soon. Bainbridge, Tifton, Georgia, and then getting very, very close to Savannah, Georgia. We have Hinesville, but definitely in the next update we should actually have those. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys, stay safe, and I'll have more updates later today.